quite relaxed. He just had a couple of nice words, I think, there for Olivia Martial, of course, refereed the final on Sunday. The UK Championship. Robbie Williams, the world number 84, but that's a bit of a false position because he's back on the start of a 2-year card. He didn't finish in the top 64 last season, but he stayed on as one of the top 4 on the 1-year list. However, he lost his points, so he's starting again, but he's a better player than 84 in the world. And he's a player in sort of recent years who's definitely quickened up as well. I think he felt he was getting a bit bogged down. They played once before, 6 years ago in a European Tour event. For the record, O'Sullivan won that one 4-0.
Yes, I think Ronnie O'Sullivan will have to step up on what I saw this afternoon against Tian Penfei, who really could or should have won that match, I think. Ronnie ended up playing okay, but in the middle of it, he could barely pot a ball, O'Sullivan. He didn't rein himself in either. He still took all the shots on that he would normally get. Ultimately, he won the match, which brings him out. There wasn't a lot of time, maximum just under a couple of hours, I think, between his previous match and this one. So he's going to find some improvement from somewhere, but of all the people that can, I suppose he can. Anyway, that shot has left Williams a long red here, which I'm sure he can get to.
Williams has played 3 times at the Crucible. He's got a lot of TV experience, but obviously nowhere near as much as O'Sullivan, and this is his first taste of this table this week. Good win over Lu Ning earlier. Of course, Lu Ning semi-finalist last weekend at the UK.
Wow.
Well, he struck that well. Direct screw back for the black, which must be tight. This is good cueing. Would like to come back a few inches further, though. Straighter on this. But he still managed to hold. And of course, it's where he starts, really, and how he starts. He's almost playing on Ronnie's own table here, isn't it? This is how it works now. So it's a disadvantage already from having played on the outside tables. But they're all the same, I know, but they don't always feel quite the same when the TV lights are on them.
9.
Again, it's tight. Can he get through the black?
Green
Looking
ball.
up the table suggests not.
Robbie Williams 9.
Another good shot at range. Played down on the only loose red. He's already started with a couple of very decent long pots. One into each corner. This one was clean as well. First one was also nicely struck. He's not on the red all that well, and no real control over what the black does after he cannons into it here.
6.
Yeah. So again, not really through any fault of his own, but maybe his cue ball not quite where he'd like it. The
Robbie
breakers
Williams 6.
ended. He didn't go for that, I don't think. There seemed no reason why he would go for it, unless you were just nicking 7 points.
I think again there, you know, he's obviously not played on this table, so he doesn't really know how it's running, hence he didn't get ideal position on that red. Big night, of course, as we reduce the field down to just 8 for the quarterfinals tomorrow. some big matches. Corin Wilson, Barry Hawkins is one of them. Mark Allen's taking on Ricky Walden. Stuart Bingham against Lee Hang. Jamie Jones, Ed and Sharaf. And of course later after this match we've got two world champions, Judd Trump and Mark Williams, going head to head. Selby also up later against Lu Haishan on table 2.
Yes, for anyone that didn't actually get to watch the afternoon play, I think Judd Trump played as well as anyone has played so far. Lian Wenbo came out all guns blazing against him, looked very good early, weathered the storm, ended up playing well himself. So that was a good win for Trump, having seemingly getting over the hangover of what happened at the weekend. Wow, that looked in, I thought, when he hit it. That really did. Again, people like to think these pockets are big, but I think you might have voted yes or over no once he'd hit it.
He sort of gave it a bit of an old-fashioned look, didn't he, as he went past it.
Well, if he wants to play the plant, really, can't get comfortable on it.
So he's in for a third time. Best ranking event performance came 7 years ago. He got to the semi-finals of the Indian Open.
9.
Kept on qualifying for the World Championship. When the qualifiers are at Ponds Forge, he seemed to just keep winning matches there. He got the Crucible so far 3 times. It was 3 years in a row. Oh dear.
16.
Not touching ball either, I don't think, which if he was, it would be an easy chance to play away up the table without having to hit a red. But I don't think he's touching. It wasn't called anyway, so he's got to make sure he glances off one here. Strange old business though, isn't it? Because you see it so often. A player gets in 3 times, doesn't accumulate many points, just kind of leaves him open to his opponent, getting one chance and winning the frame. That's how it sometimes goes.
Well, that's opened everything up.
Oh, that is a good safety shot, acknowledged by O'Sullivan. That really has put the cat amongst the pigeons now. I mean, you either try and find an escape route here, which doesn't look very easy, or you try and pot one, which also doesn't look very easy. The top red, I think you can get back to bulk from. Good follow-up, but we've already seen that Robbie Williams has not one in just like this, and this one, he's got everything riding on it, where the balls now are. So this is the one he wants more than the other two, really.
One.
Very good. A little unlucky to catch the jaw of the pocket, and now he's got a difficult black, so things aren't getting any easier here.
No, he's got the game's greatest ever break builder following him if he misses this black. The reds are all out in the open.
Robbie Williams, a 1.
It's not there.
Well,
So now here's the point I'm making, that now O'Sullivan comes to the table, everything is open, and as I say, that seems to be how these frames, pattern of these frames emerges. Someone comes in and all of a sudden, when it's O'Sullivan, you fancy he might win the frame here now.
5. 6. 13. 14.
Just the one red just off the right hand side cushion. Dealing with.
21.
Green's safe, but if he takes high value colours with these reds, he won't need it.
$22. 28.
Yes, I wonder if he's worked that out. It's not something you always think of that far in advance. It might dawn on him that that position will come up where he can not need the green, but I think at the moment you just find yourself concentrating on the few shots ahead of you. Handy though if it got to that stage.
34.
Well, he got the red out. Now he is, I think, doing the maths.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to get the high value colours that mean the frame is safe by then.
35. 42. 43.
It's a poor shot from O'Sullivan. He needed to be high on the black top side, not down there. That's unusual for his touch to desert him like that. Go all around the houses now. Well, I can think of players who wouldn't even go for the pot here and would play the snooker, but I'm not sure it suits Ronnie O'Sullivan's style, but he might, players might do.
51.
And you can knock those in. Why would you need to play any other shot? He had some cover, I think. Had he missed the red, the black would probably have covered it.
So 26 in front with the black, 28 with the yellow with 25 on.
He looks a little bit more focused already than earlier when he was all over the shop for a period of time.
60.
Robbie Williams was faced with that tricky pressure black with all the reds out in the open.
Ronnie
And he needs a
O'Sullivan,
snooker.
60.
60 from O'Sullivan. Let's put him 28 in front with 25 on. this doesn't help his cause. Oh, I thought he was going in. Well, that certainly doesn't help his cause. What a shot.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4. Frame conceded. Frame Ronnie O'Sullivan. 2.
Robbie Williams has seen enough. He needs 2 snookers. He's in one himself. He had those early chances, but it was the missed black that opened the door for O'Sullivan 60. So he leads 1-0. 7, remember, to reach the quarterfinals.
One.
Well, if the long pot's going, that's when O'Sullivan's even more dangerous. I think we all know that part. The rest of it is there. You know, we never feel
8.
that his break building needs a lot of attention. But if these start going in, as they did on the last day of the World Championship, day 17,
9.
when he played so well to see off Kyron Wilson. I think that was actually the best day he played in that championship, you know. There's a few ups and downs throughout, a few sessions he lost, which of course happens. It's hard. I don't think there can be many world champions that have gone
50.
all the way through Crucible without losing a session here or there. It's how you recover, but O'Sullivan, he was just in front overnight against Kyron, not playing all that well. Something seemed to change, and he looked very sharp on that final Sunday as it was this year, not usually of course the May Day bank holiday. Obvious reasons, it was played in August.
23.
And I don't think we've seen the best of him this season. I guess
30.
with the championship being when it was,
31.
it's quite hard to think about going through all the preparations again so soon. I think he's put a lot. I think he's put a lot of effort into his
38.
matches, but whether he's completely flat out with his practice, I don't know. Anyway, this break might be coming to an end here because he just got stuck on the bunch.
Well, he gets on one there. It's probably 2-0.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 38.
The point I'm making about O'Sullivan, of course, Dave, is that no world champion ever had to come out and play tournaments again so soon after the championship as he has, a full program within a few weeks. So it's always going to be a little difficult to pick himself up straight away, and get playing.
Foul and a miss.
It's not
Ronnie
looking too
O'Sullivan's
hopeful, is it? Goodness. That was a very difficult shot. There was almost an argument there to just let the cue go. I think it was a hard shot to try and bury the cue ball in there.
1.
So many reds you could have left.
Yeah, concern for him. Those chances in frame 1, but Sullivan back in here in frame 2. And he's got a good record in this Home Nation series. If you look back over the years, this is his 18th event that he's played in it, and he's looking to reach his 11th quarter-final. So he's got a good habit of getting through these early best-of-sevens. The opposite, of course, of the Crucible, where matches can take several days.
$11.
Again, I think the cue ball went too far there. I don't think he's entirely happy with that tip that he's got on, and said it was a little soft and a little spongy. Anyway, if you can bet it in, stay in the tournament, it could be okay by the weekend. Guess this is a missable sort of a shot, if you're not careful.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 12.
Well, he wants to bite that tip off, it would seem.
Doesn't like it, does he? I mean, there's no getting away from it. It's not making a great sound, actually, I don't think. Sometimes it can be your imagination, but it just doesn't sound, not making that pinging noise that you'd expect a tip to make. So, seemed to like it yesterday, but not so much today. Got very close to this black, but I mean, close is not good enough. You know, that bottom jaw, it's not the place on this table to hit, clearly. We know exactly how he feels after that.
Only significant, really, though, if Williams can punish. He got to the quarter-finals, Robbie Williams, of the English Open this season, where he lost to Neil Robertson. At least, okay, he went down in the rankings because of what I mentioned earlier, losing his points, but at least he's guaranteed 2 years now. So this season's not looking over his shoulder at his ranking position, which can add so much pressure to a sport full of it already.
$23. $24.
It's not easy to say he's got to clear up, but I think he has to. That one red that's on the right would be the awkward one, or possibly a little awkward to get on. But if you're going to have any chance of winning this match, you have to pick up frames like this, because chances don't come along all the time.
30. $31.
Now this is a key shot, playing on that right-hand red. Dear, he played the cannon. I thought he was close enough to just get that cue ball on the right cushion there and get him behind the red, which gives O'Sullivan hope that he'll be back at the table soon, I think. Played to move it when he might have been able to play on it from where the pink cue ball and the pink were. What do you play here? The double kiss looks on. If you play the red up and down, or the cue ball up and down off the red, the first red, it's one of them where it looks quite difficult to avoid.
Oh, and a miss.
And as you
Robbie
can see,
Williams, 6.
if you hadn't looked at it that closely, you might have thought, well, what was the problem there? But it really was awkward, actually. Something you'd never practice, that situation. Stays in his chair, I think the balls are going back, but there isn't really an obvious shot here.
Yeah.
I think he ended up
Robbie,
playing cushion
thank you.
first to try and glance off the top red. But as I say, it looks like there's a double kiss in the offing, whatever he plays here. So he gets a thin edge of something. Sullivan got away with that. Loose shot. And no control of the cue ball. So Williams has to wait one. Wow. He thought, I won't leave anything here. I'll cover the other red. And the only red, of course, you can leave is the one you play. You might feel a little aggrieved that the balls are finished where they have.
One.
It's a terrible shot from O'Sullivan. He has so much room there to finish up the table further than that. That really was out of character, that one. His strength has always been the control of the cue ball that he possesses.
Please declare, Ronnie.
Deserves it in for that last
Blue
shot.
ball.
It's Olivier Martial, of course, two balls close together, and you have to say which one you're going to hit. Oh, that's a great recovery, though. Terrific. And one that, if he had missed it, it might have cost him the frame.
Thank you. 6.
So he leads by 20 on this last red. Left-handed again.
7.
Two yellows and a green he needs.
9. 11.
Now they can tie. So the green is required. It's probably the only player on the tour that doesn't use any of the... He uses the sort of bog standard stuff under the table. He doesn't bring his own extension. Some players have got all sorts of things out onto their cue. Ronnie just has no interest in any of that.
Ronnie
Or
O'Sullivan,
maybe he
11.
should have gone of his own. So, lifeline to Robbie Williams, a chance to tie the frame.
Yeah, it was the shot from the yellow, wasn't it? The fact he left that green the way he did. Could yet be a respot.
Now, surely he can get to it. He'd be unlucky if he couldn't. It means it's going to be difficult to control for the brown.
3.
What a place to finish. Took the cue ball out into the middle of the table. Could have finished better, I suppose.
Robbie Williams, 3.
First time he qualified for the Crucible. He won 10-9 in the final round against Fergal O'Brien on a respot.
Robbie Williams, 4.
That's a good shot. That has given him renewed hope. Well, he has to prioritise getting this blue ball on a cushion here. This looks pretty good.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Just a little sliver sticking out. He could hit enough to maybe pop this, I thought.
5.
Wow. What a shot. I think his mind was made up by that's all he could hit, but it was a great shot. It's one in the frame.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
23 in
Frame
front.
conceded, frame
13
Ronnie
on.
O'Sullivan.
Robbie Williams, I think they've seen enough. So, very tight frame. Williams stood up. It's a Scottish Open, I think, last year, when he was refusing to shake hands. He would always do the fist bumps. He said he was worried about germs, and everyone sort of said, "Come on, Ronnie, what's the matter with you?" Strange how things turn out, isn't it? Maybe he was onto something. I remember that because he played Selby, didn't he, in the quarter-finals, and Mark Selby tried to get him into a game of rock, paper, scissors.
Mind games, Dave, wasn't it? All of it. I'll make a prediction. Win or lose at the end of this match, I suspect that tip might be coming off. Sullivan's cue. I mean, I know that should he win, and he hasn't won yet, but should he win, he'll be playing at some point tomorrow, but he's definitely not happy with it. There's a few shots that he just doesn't seem to have the usual grip or control with. He made that point earlier that it's not entirely gone as he thought it might. It's been on a couple of days, and we'll see. got a bit lucky there, O'Sullivan, didn't he? Leave anything.
One.
There's a very good long pot, and with the green where it is, if he finishes tight on the cushion, he'll have the angle to get down to a red. Well, he's knocked in a few long pots in this match, actually. Usually it's his control of the cue ball which has not been there. 4 from 6. Some of them have been pretty good shots.
4.
That's unlucky.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Karen Wilson's had a century on table 2, so he's won each with Barry Hawkins. Mark Allen's on 1 actually in frame 3 against Ricky Walden, so he's going to be 2-1 up Allen. So Sullivan works on that tip. 1-0 Stuart Bingham over Lee Hang, 2-0 Jamie Jones over Eden Sharaf.
Dangerous. Nice shot.
One. Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
There you have it. And there's an interesting shot, because you might have thought he would go for the yellow, or even if he wasn't quite thinking straight, take on the long black. But I think where the balls are, tied up behind the yellow, does not leave Robbie Williams very many shots. Okay, he'd like to land the cue ball in behind something. Bottom right red, I think, might be one, but this is not an easy escape. Meanwhile, that tip, I think, is on borrowed time.
That's the thing, even though he's maybe concerned about the tip, he's maybe not happy with how he's playing. He's been very disciplined all week, as he was in the last event, the Northern Ireland Open, last Home Nations event, that is.
Nice escape from Robbie Williams, well played. Well, that's made things a little complicated where the pinks ended up. It's kind of tied up the pink and 1 or 2 other reds.
Yeah, the tip stays may be numbered after tonight, although I remember when he lost to Graham Dott in the Crucible Semis 2006, he gave his cue away to a young lad in the audience.
1.
Wonder where that cue is right now. Somebody's got it, haven't they?
Yes, I mean, if it was a film, that kid would now be a player, wouldn't he? And he'd come and beat him, but it doesn't always work like that.
6. Seven.
Well, I don't know what he played there. If he played on the black, I don't think he's got a very good shot at it. He may have thought the cue ball was going to go a little lower down the table to the point where he's had to refuse the black. Horrible looking shot to the middle. Especially when you've got O'Sullivan behind you. Playing, I think, up the table off it.
Robbie Williams, 7.
Well, that's the first piece of any kind of fortune that Robbie Williams, I think, has had in this match. The fact there was a plant there, cue ball went haywire, but it landed on the black, so I don't think you could deny him that, you know. Now he's just got to take something from it.
Eight.
Yeah, that black was always going to be immediately tied up because it was always going on its spot. Pink's no good either at the moment.
9.
It's overrun here.
Fourteen. $15.
It's so difficult to see how he could get any high value colours in play there. I think you need a sledgehammer on that last shot to get the reds and the high value colours in play.
Williams, 15.
One of those sort of scratchy frames that, you know, there's been times where O'Sullivan might have lost interest, but not at the moment. He's just disciplined whatever sort of frame it is. We saw that in the last one.
Yeah, I think Robbie Williams could do with a scratchy old frame. Anything to get one on the board right now.
Problem he's got is O'Sullivan's playing the proper shots. Not leaving him easy chances.
Interesting shot. Surely he's left a red to the middle here, isn't he? Thin one.
One.
Oh, look, look at all the reds there. It's just the wrong side of the blue.
6. Robbie Williams 6.
Not a classic frame by any means.
He's put the black safe now.
And the colours have been just glued on cushions or around reds all the way through this frame, haven't they? High value colours anyway.
Yeah, a local lockdown on table 1. Oh, this frame almost going to sleep. Do get them like this when the balls go awkward. But the exact opposite on table 2, where Karen Wilson has a chance for a maximum. These are live pictures. This is the black to move to 72. So shortly he'll be able to kill the frame off, because he's had one this season at the UK Championship just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these where when he pots the next red, the frame is safe, so if it's in his mind to make one, then we'll find out, I think, from the next shot.
Joe Yu Long had one on the opening day. Good. We're going to stay with this, see if he can make it.
Oh, that is such a good shot Wilson has played there. So we've got a bit of everything here, but I think we're right to stay with it while we watch sort of a very slow frame unfolding on table 1. Still magic in these 147s. I know we're seeing quite a few of them at the moment, but they still have meaning, I think. You know, there still is a bit of an occasion.
4.
And it would be his third in 2020. He made one at the Welsh Open in the very first frame of his first match against Jackson Page. Made one, as I say, at the UK. It was live actually here on Eurosport a couple of weeks ago. Made 3 in total.
You see that top red of Kara's will go, but he's going to play on the other one anyway. Pink is very, very near to its own spot, isn't it? As I always talk about that, it's unusual to be where it is.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 11.
Meanwhile, on our main table, not a great deal happens still for once. Quite rare when O'Sullivan plays it, you can say that.
1.
Yeah, there's still work to do, whoever gets in there with where the balls are. But for Karen Wilson, these are exciting moments. All the players said, Judd Trump said the other day, you know, this is where you really start to feel the nerves as a snooker player when you've got the chance to make one in a tournament.
6.
This is the beauty of our live coverage, Dave, isn't it? Whereby we can show you what's happening if it's an event on the other table quite comfortably. And I know that people would like to see this and how it unfolds, whether he can make the magical 147.
coming up to the 39th anniversary of the first on television, Steve Davis, January 1982.
12.
To get high on this red. He needs really, this cue ball has got to go now. As I say, he had to get top side of the red, not low. Now he's got a difficult shot. Now what's he going to do?
Robbie Williams, 12.
We saw Judd Trump actually play a shot where he hit the jaw of the middle bag trying to get the cue ball down. If Kyron's got that in mind, he's deciding to hold. This is a thin one now from there. And also, it's not only the pot, but just getting in behind the yellow. It would not be easy.
Big moment then in the break for Kyron Wilson.
Possible he could pot this and land awkwardly on the yellow. No.
Well, that's a shame. We all like to see a maximum. The only person happy may be Zhou Yulong. His 5 grand is safe at the moment. Disappointment for Kyron Wilson, but he leads the match 2-1. Meanwhile, Robbie Williams in front in this third frame, which has been very scrappy. Ball's going awkward, but he's got a useful lead.
What you do here is easy to get from green to red. Got to get fairly precise position to land on that right-hand red of the two. I wonder if it was any value in going for it.
Robbie Williams, 1.
If it was a difficult pot, it could have just ramped the green onto the cushion to make it even more difficult for O'Sullivan. The ball seemed to jump there. Strange one, wasn't it, that red? Just watch this.
Seven.
Yeah, the red jumped up in the air. Ronnie looked a bit bemused by it all.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 7.
Just said I can't play with this anymore, referring to his tip.
Well, I think you should leave it on. It's better than having no tip on. It's got to be. It can't be that bad, surely.
One.
I guess the only other option he has is to go and get someone else's cue after this frame. Otherwise, he's going to have to plough on with it.
Well, I'm told, led to believe he did that actually, you know, in that long run of wins at the Norbrec. There's a lad from New Zealand called Mark Canavan. And Ronnie had said to him that he liked his cue. He said, I think I might use that in my match tomorrow or tonight, if that's all right. And apparently he did. Don't think he was playing anyone he thought that he was going to lose to, and he used somebody else's cue for a whole match. I think he won 5-0.
Williams has finished very awkward here on this yellow. He's 22 in front, 27 on, each yellow and green. It's been that sort of frame,
Robbie Williams, 4.
all bits and pieces. By the way, the winner of the match plays Ding Junhui or Jamie O'Neill. O'Neill, of course, beat Sean Murphy earlier. They're just getting going in their match.
2.
That was not dissimilar to that blue that he potted for frame ball in the previous frame. This has been very sticky old frame, has to be said. Balls have been awkward all the way through. Hence it's such a low scoring frame.
Well, I'll make the highest break in this frame, 15.
Don't think he went for that. Well, I'm
Ronnie
pretty
O'Sullivan,
sure he
2.
didn't. Quite a clever shot, you know, because putting the green next to the brown, that was a shot that Ray Reardon might have played. He's a man that taught him a lot about the game. It's a clever one.
O'Sullivan knows, of course, that Williams only needs the green. So brown on the cushion, black on a cushion favours him. He just needs the green.
And once again, I think the ball's reacted in a way that O'Sullivan had no idea about, basically. I think Robbie Williams just got to play his own game here. Mustn't worry about what's happening with the man he's playing. He desperately has to win this frame, and then he's got a chance of winning the match. Easy to be dragged into it all. Tip on his cue's okay. That's all he needs to worry about. Desperately in need of a frame. Ronnie now has completely lost his way. That last shot was terrible. Not that he's not trying, it's just every shot is very ill-directed.
Or the green wriggles in, so O'Sullivan needs a snooker. Now all he's thinking about is that tip. That seems to have completely consumed his entire thought process.
Robbie Williams, 3.
Well, surely that now for this frame. Highest break 15 in this frame.
4.
They all count the same though if you win them.
Robbie Williams, 4.
He needs 2 snookers. Should have potted that blue though.
I don't think Ronnie's got any ideas. I mean, Ronnie would never have potted the blue, surely, where if he was trying to get these snookers, and where the black is, it's absolutely nailed to the left cushion. So difficult to get snookers there. You know, he's been playing on for a while now at the end of frames, isn't he?
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this frame, whether O'Sullivan is going to try and do something to his tip or what's going to happen, I'm sure. One thing I do know, he'll set his stopwatch.
6 and a frame.
I can't guarantee.
Well, it's time to set it now, Ronnie, because the frame's over. It was a bit of a grind, 27 minutes. And it's been won by Robbie Williams. So he's involved in this match. O'Sullivan worried about his tip. He leads 2-1. Judge Trump Mark Williams follows this match. good, clearly catching the blue. Having just put all that hard work into winning a 27-minute frame to offer up an immediate opening.
1.
Sullivan is often
8.
able to improvise. He hasn't really complained about conditions very much.
9.
Tip on his cue has caused him problems before. But not to say he won't knock in a big break here. Cue ball disappearing to the bulkhead is not going to help that.
16. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 16.
So in the end, a good chance didn't amount to anything.
I mean, the only break to speak of was that 60 from Ronnie O'Sullivan in the first frame. Highest break since then by either player, just 38.
Well, this is if he plays this long red, it's a horrible shot. I mean, he's tight on the cushion. Can't leave the red there. He might just play the dump shot here, leave the cue ball at that end. Go for it.
1.
Terrific cueing. But again, cue ball goes on the side rail or near it, which means his next shot is difficult. Very nice. That was a good shot as well. Terrific cueing.
8. Robbie Williams, 8.
Well, it wasn't a full pocket, and he's played it with left hand running side to go around the back of the black. And I say the first part was the problem, it wasn't a full pocket. I think if he was going to play that, he probably needed to give it a bit more thought. He got down and played it quickly. As I said, the one thing he must do is not get dragged into O'Sullivan's issues. He's got his own match to play, his own things to think about. Can win this match, the way things are going, Williams.
Sullivan's pot success has now come down to just 80%.
Now, what about this? Some sort of a plant has emerged in the middle of the bunch. He seemed to hit the wrong red first
Hang
there.
on.
Robbie Williams, 4.
Oh, unlucky.
Well, it was unlucky, but surprised how hard he hit it and how slow the first red reached the pocket. And the twist in the tail was the brown going in. Balls flying around everywhere.
1.
Well, another chance for Williams. He's got to sense a chance here this evening. O'Sullivan not at full flight. Okay, maybe unlucky to knock the brown in there, but it's an opportunity.
Robbie Williams,
Yeah,
1.
and he's just not I'm afraid.
No, I'm afraid he's been dragged down. Not able to play his own game. You don't get much of a read from him how he's feeling, but I'm sure he's very frustrated missing that.
One. Seven. Eight.
Said it at the Crucible when O'Sullivan struggled at times. Someone's got to beat him, and there were opportunities there for sure. For the likes of Mark
50.
Williams and Ding Junhui, certainly Mark Selby in the semis, and Kyron Wilson on the first day of the final.
16.
But bottom line is, after 17 days, he had the trophy.
$23. $24.
Yeah, I think also, Dave, over the years we've seen players go into matches against O'Sullivan almost beat before they started.
31.
He can intimidate you with his presence, actually, when he's playing well, or even on a day like today when he isn't.
32.
Miss Black from Williams then set up this opening. O'Sullivan already 41 to the good. A couple more reds with colours should do it.
39. $46.
Just checking that. He's 49 in front, 59 on, so red. And anything above the yellow, Williams needs a
47.
snooker. Well, in fact, the yellow would have done. But either way, this green, and he needs a snooker. And he had a good chance. He really did.
50.
But
But this was a missed black early on.
Seeing plenty of shots missed to that near jaw in that pocket, aren't we? That one was never in. One or two I thought I've looked in, which have also stayed up. That one not so. But it was right at the point where O'Sullivan looked at very desperate.
Wow.
Look at this for a shot.
O'Sullivan,
He's
51.
tried to knock the red over the pocket.
Looking to reach his 11th quarter-final from 18 Home Nation Series events.
That's a good safety shot from O'Sullivan. I'm not sure if he's completely covered. The red's on the right. Maybe it's an edge that Robbie Williams can get to. You see Olivier Martial right behind the line of it, in case he has to replace anything. It's a good follow-up from Williams. It's very good.
It's not touching.
Martial just checking, but it's not touching ball.
Rather strange looking shot, wasn't it? Didn't expect the pink to end up at the other end of the table off it, and the red. It's a good pot.
Oh,
It's a big bounce here. Now what he could really do with is a sizable break. He obviously needs to win all the remaining frames, we know that, but he just got to get some confidence going. Because like I say,
3.
Sullivan is vulnerable, but Williams has not taken advantage of anything that's come his way, and he has had a few chances.
4.
Yeah, his highest break is only 37 for the whole match. You know, you wouldn't expect to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan with a highest break of 37.
Nine.
Well, I think he'd like to have had a little angle on. It's not impossible that the black might go to the opposite corner, but he's going to have to hit it anyway here, so it doesn't matter.
10.
Doesn't go anywhere now. It's not a good shot. Don't know what he was playing.
Brown
It
ball.
wasn't that.
Robbie Williams, 10.
Just get the feeling Robbie is not comfortable out there. It's never easy playing O'Sullivan, is it? Let's be honest. Playing in his own backyard. Get the feeling with Robbie, he's a mighty difficult player to play against on the outside tables. He's not one you'd want to play. But you play this man, it's going to be under lights every time.
Yes, it's always a home fixture, I guess, for Ronnie O'Sullivan on the main table. But when you've won 37 ranking titles, including 6 World Championships and all the rest, you deserve to be out there.
Of course, people want to see the best players in the world play. Of course, in the last couple of years with the emergence of Judd Trump, as he was world champion and now world number 1, 2 of them are, when they're in the tournament, everyone else can make their own arrangements. Basically, they're going to be playing somewhere else. People want to watch them play. Simple as that. Anyway, good safety shot.
Yeah, and worth saying, if you've got a Eurosport app, you can watch table 2, of course, which is Karen Wilson, Barry Hawkins. That's 2-2. It's going to happen for him. It's got to start soon. It's just not really happening, I'm afraid.
Say, Dave, the only reason O'Sullivan has won one match today and is on the brink of winning another is because of the effort he's putting in. He's trying very hard. Because I've known him in better form than this, but not try so hard on every shot and, of course, be sent packing. You know, he's putting every effort in. He's very unlike O'Sullivan, this performance.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, one of the cornerstones of his success at the Crucible was his mental fortitude. I know he played a couple of strange shots against Selby, but overall, he dug in for the 17 days. He's digging in here, just trying to get the frame he needs to get into the quarterfinals.
It's a good shot that from O'Sullivan. I don't know if there's anything sticking out. Well, if there is, it's not much.
Follow the miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Now, this is one of those ones, if it goes back, it's ever so difficult to get it right because, you know, I mean, how do you judge part of a millimetre of a ball that you could hit? It's very hard to replace them properly. Ronnie will have nothing to do with it. I'll leave it in the hands of Olivier Martial, the referee, and of course, the striker.
Look, away. Yeah, Ronnie. One.
Oh, that's not bad, I think.
Six. Seven.
Clearing away the pink spot, which is of course where the black will go. The black spot is absolutely done for. So now that red's been potted, it'll be the scoring ball, but from the pink spot.
14. 15.
Now opportunity to put this match to bed here.
Yeah, whatever his frustrations, as you say, you know,
22.
his attitude and discipline couldn't have been better. Sometimes you just have to tough it out.
23. 28. 29.
Not the worst place in the world to land. Anywhere up the table, you had a choice of plenty of colours to play on.
$33. 34.
Do get a lot of upsets in these Home Nations events, but the semis could yet feature Mark Selby, Karen Wilson, Judd Trump and Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4 of the top 5 players in the world.
41.
Such a good shot there. The black spot now is available. Next time he pots it. He played it in a safe way there to be on that bottom red, or certainly the one nearest the black. There it is. Goes through the gap there.
50.
He's such a remarkable player. He's all over the shop, really. He's not in any way firing on all cylinders, but he still managed to find something here.
Yeah, sorry, Neil. He's doing his best, isn't he, just to heave himself over the line. He's missed that one, though.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 50.
Now this really is the last chance saloon for Robbie Williams. Is either if he's not going to do anything here, then really that is definitely his last chance, I would say.
50 from O'Sullivan. He leads by 44. This was the missed blue. There's 59 on.
One.
How can he get the 2 reds? If he was a bit straighter on the black, he might have a chance, but I don't see how he can touch them from there. The angle's just going across the front of them, not going into them. Have to be another visit to make this safety shot really count now that he plays here.
Robbie Williams, 8. Foul and a miss. Robbie Williams, 4. Yeah. Thank you.
He's looking at that tip like it's a sworn enemy.
Well, he's missed that by about an inch.
Robbie Williams, 4.
Tell you what, I don't know what he'll do on this third go. If I was Robbie, I'm definitely going back. He's got to play a different shot because he missed it by so far that he could be done for the 3 strokes and outroar here. He got nowhere near hitting that last shot.
Yeah, Robbie.
You're right in line with it. It was
If I have to
never
go on this
threatened.
again, you lose the frame.
Warning administered. Must hit it.
It's left him a problem. He wants to play the same shot, but I don't think he has enough confidence to do it. He was never going to miss that one, was he? He's actually left the red on, but he put himself in his own trouble there.
Yeah, he certainly made sure. But can Williams this time take advantage?
4. Robbie Williams 4.
Oh dear. Well,
Wow, how did that stay out? I mean, it has gone. It has stayed right over the pocket. Incredible.
1.
all about getting on the last red then.
No idea how that stayed up. Certainly to finish where it did. If you can lay a good snooker here, then the match could well be over.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 5.
The red is just straying out into an open area. So it's hanging on by a thread here, Robbie Williams, just still in this match just.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Well, it's a little twist. Like he can just get to the red. Maybe off the cushion. I think he's gone just far enough so it doesn't pot. Get the feeling the blue, if he's not in the way, it's close to being in the way. Well, what a chance for Robbie Williams now. I mean, he would absolutely mop these up all day long. I think if he was playing somebody else, maybe on a different table.
Well, any colour will do off the red.
1.
So this match a couple of times looked over. I think really the key moment in the end was O'Sullivan not getting the snooker on the last red.
7.
These have still got to be potted.
10. $14.
Now, what's very important, if he's going to keep that man engaged for another frame, is if the angle he gets on the pink, if he finishes the other side of the pink, it's an easy shot to get on the black. Doesn't want to be straight or anything like that.
19.
Well, it's not perfect by any means. At least he'll be on the black, but now this pot is difficult. Under a lot of pressure now. This is a clearance he had to make. He's found himself with a slightly difficult shot here.
Robbie Williams 90.
Well, what a chance that was.
It really was. Just put himself, as you say, under pressure on the pink. O'Sullivan needs the pink, then Williams will need both balls. Oh, he got so close. Something about that pocket.
Oh, there is, Dave. You're right. It's the one that Williams missed that red in that stayed over the hole, and the same's happened here. Seeing it from that angle, it always felt it was never quite there.
Foul.
The cue ball's running loose here.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 6.
Oh, you're joking. That is a nightmare.
Well, he needs a snooker now. 16 behind, 13 on.
Not unlucky, really. The cue ball was going much too quickly. He's had no control over it. I mean, if it doesn't go in off, ends up somewhere around the pink spot, I think.
So, as I say, Robbie Williams requires a snooker. He will get the chance, though.
I think there's a few things I'll say here. One is that O'Sullivan will have tougher tests in the next round, provided he gets through this. And the other thing I'll say is it will be with a different tip on his cue. Great shot. Quite a big target. Don't think O'Sullivan can go around the back. Surely the pink in or over. Game over. Thought he'd roll it, to be honest. Don't see any reason why he didn't. Feels like a bit of a knockabout, this match, doesn't it? Doesn't feel as if the intensity is there. Sullivan is always edging it without ever playing well.
What makes him dangerous, though, O'Sullivan, if he's not playing his best, is if he's willing to dig in like he has done tonight, he can still graft out results. Can he just clip this in? Too thin.
I think we're on the pantheon of great O'Sullivan performances over his 28 years. This match is nowhere near on there. But it's still going to be a win. It's an outside chance of one here. Catches the pink very thin. Good line, just a little short of pace.
Yeah, Williams' highest break 37 this evening. It's never going to be enough. Of course, had a chance to clear in this frame. Be Ding Junhui next, of course, as they've drawn each other in the first round of the Masters. Sullivan, though, still not quite able to put this away.
6. Premier match. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
It's finally in, and Ronnie O'Sullivan is finally through to the quarterfinals. Not a vintage display by any means, but he battled hard.